Morton's neuroma. I got a question about this just the other day. Now, this is one of the ones that I love to treat in practice because I consider them fairly easy to treat, you know, with footwear modifications, creating a little bit of space between the toes and the metatarsals, and just teaching those people some really simple things to do for themselves. What's your take on Morton's neuroma?
Same, really pretty much the same. I think that the stronger the foot, because the metatarsals, they shear also up and down.
That's
I
right.
mean, certainly there's compression, and making it wider gives them more room, but also the shear. And by having more stability in your foot, you don't have as much. There's no science behind that. It makes sense to me that having a more stable foot and a stronger foot, that you wouldn't have as much shear. So, we do foot strengthening. You're probably doing that too. And we get them in minimal shoes. So they're, again, the minimal shoes themselves. We published a study in MSSE a number of years ago now, maybe 2018, 16, I can't remember. But we actually took, and it was with Sarah Ridge, she was the first author. We took 3 groups of people. One group stayed in regular shoes. One group did a foot exercise program, foot core. And then the last group walked in minimal shoes and progressively increased their steps. And we looked at the size of 4 muscles of the arch. And obviously the people who stayed in the regular shoes had no change, but the change in those muscles was no different between the exercise group and the foot strengthening group. So what that tells you is, because it's hard to get people to be compliant in their exercise programs, that.
Absolutely.
But it tells you that if you can get people just walking in minimal shoes, their feet are going to get stronger. And so when we want runners to start transitioning to minimal shoes, we start them walking long before we're even going to have them run, just to get them, to build that, to get the foot to adapt.
Yeah, you got to get used to the different impact forces and get your fitness level up, essentially, because they don't have the basic level of fitness to so your
foot fitness.
Yeah, exactly right. To walk before they can run, literally.
Right.
Yeah. So one more, and this one is a hot button, especially for women: bunions. Because I read a paper and I shared it with my community, and it was a lightning rod, and it said something like over 90% of bunions are flat out caused by modern footwear.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you go to communities that are barefoot, very low incidence of bunions. And so I just did a podcast with someone about heels, high heels, right? Because I love to wear high heels. I know they're terrible for me, and I don't wear them very often. I don't want to tell women don't ever wear them. We all wear them for probably 2 hours at the wedding or wherever we're wearing them to, and we take them off because they're uncomfortable, right? Don't wear them all the time. It's just like, you can sit in that Barco lounger if you want to, but don't sit in it all the time. You can sit in a chair, but make sure you get up and you walk around. It's the same way I feel about high heels with women, because if you just tell me you can never wear high heels, you might not even get any compliance. So I say, wear them, judiciously. Wear them when you want to really dress up. They're going to hurt your feet. They're not comfortable. When someone says I got a comfortable high heel, it's usually not going to be a really high heel, because it puts all the pressure on the mechanics, all the pressure on the ball of the foot. So yes, if you're wearing those kind of shoes all the time, your foot is going to shape to it. It's just naturally going to happen. And you're going to end up with that, that painful area on the outside of your bottom of your big toe, this joint right here. And so it just makes sense. So yes, I had an x-ray. It was really a good picture of somebody in a pair of shoes that were tight and someone that was in a pair of shoes that were minimal. And you see all of the space between the toes in the minimal shoe, and the foot is crunched up. The toes are kind of angled in towards each other. You can see it on an x-ray.
If you enjoyed that short clip, you've got to see the full unedited interview with Dr. Irene Davis. She is a phenomenal resource on what it takes to create healthy feet, and that interview is jam-packed with helpful information. To access that video, click the link in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. I'll also put a link for it in the description down below. Beyond that, I just want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.